Hello everyone and welcome to our next episode of Meet a Friend. I wonder what you've learned about people so far that you didn't know before. Let's find out some more today. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Tell us your name.
My name's Jude and I am the project manager of the food bank here at church.
Fantastic. Thank you for being willing to do this. How long have you been part of God Manchester Baptist Church?
I think it's about 14 years now.
Okay, same amount of time as me. Wow. It's one of those which when you arrive somewhere, you don't necessarily know who else has arrived. So Jude, for me, has been someone who's been here for a very long time. So good to be aware of that. Jude, tell us something that most people won't know about you.
I first met my husband, people might know that I met him in Zimbabwe, but I was actually standing there with a bread knife in my hand at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Because we were all about to go out on a big long day trip. We all had to make our sandwiches and he walked into the kitchen and I'm brandishing a bread knife.
Sometimes there isn't anything else to say. That isn't. I didn't know that about you, and but it's not a surprise. I think if I put the two together,
thank you so much.
I think we put those two together. Okay, so Jude, tell us a Bible character who you often think about. Bible character who helps you. Tell us about someone.
I found this quite difficult because there's so many amazing stories in the Bible, but ultimately the answer came down to Joseph. As in Joseph of the Old Testament. And it's all because of one particular book written by R.T. Kendall entitled God Meant It for Good.
Yeah.
And quite a lot's gone on in the last few years. Husband was poorly, cancer, died, just moved house, kids moved away. And the thing that I have hung on to is in every season, God has meant it for good.
Yeah.
I haven't got the foggiest, often haven't had the foggiest what's going on, but it's not stopped God doing his thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for lots of us who know our Bibles well, when we think of stories like the story of Joseph, we can know the end of the story before we actually live through it. And the end of that story does talk about the fact that God meant it for good. But it's at the end of the story that Joseph says that. It's not on the way through. And it's good for us to remember that as we go through life, it doesn't always feel like it in the moment. We don't always know what God's up to, but we can hold on to that promise and that truth that God meant it for good. Thank you, Jude.
Welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you'd like to leave a comment or share, that would be fantastic. I'll see you next week.